everyone. Welcome to another episode of Psychonaut Sessions. This is your host, Daniel Moeller. This is your home for all things psycho. Today we're going to take a look at KAFKA by Renegade Press. Renegade Press was only around for about 4 years in the mid to late 80s. I believe it was 1984 through 88. It was actually founded by Denise Lubert, I think is how it's pronounced, a Canadian from originally Aardvark Vanheim. So she used to be married to Dave Sim, which anybody who knows anyone regarding independent comic books, Dave Sim is pretty much a legend, whether you love him or hate him. Is responsible for one of the longest, I think the longest running independent comic book of all time, which is Cerebus. And so she left after they were divorced. She left Aardvark Vanheim and created her own book publisher, Renegade Press. Had a lot of pretty interesting titles such as Normal Man, Flaming Carrot, Neil the Horse, Mystery. A lot of those properties moved on to other publishers after they folded. They just weren't able to keep up. But if you look deeply in Renegade, there's a lot of really interesting little things that happen, even though they never really got all the things off the ground that they wanted to. But some pretty interesting projects, KAFKA being one of them. So KAFKA was written by Steven T. Seagle, and then also art by Stefano Guadiano. So Stefano Guadiano has done a lot of work for Marvel, DC, a lot of independents, very notable for his inking, but also pretty notable for his work on Walking Dead. So those are one of the major items that he's noted for nowadays. Steven T. Seagle is a huge writer in the comics industry. He's kind of been all over. One of his most notable works for me is his graphic memoir, It's a Bird, which is one of the best graphic novels I've ever read, especially specifically on the subject of Superman and the inspiration regarding Superman. But what he's probably most famous for in pop culture is he's one of the creators of Ben 10. So pretty big names. This is actually Steven's Seagal's, not Seagal, Seagal, not Seagal, Steven Seagle, I guess it's pronounced. I'm saying Seagal like the actor, but not the same person, ladies and gentlemen. So excuse my pronunciation of any name, really. I think if you're on this channel, you really have to excuse my pronunciations, period. But this is actually his first work, I believe, period. So 1987 is when KAFKA came out. First of all, just this cover is fabulous. I love it. It is one of those types of covers that really draws my eye in the like dollar comics bin or in a flea market bin. Fully painted. It's kind of interesting. Full inks here, and then we have paints in the backgrounds like he's hushing her up. Whatever that's supposed to be and whatever that's supposed to mean, but love it. I thought it was striking. Love the letters. 100%. This is the kind of book that draws me. And instead of starting in the beginning, I'm actually going to start in the end a little bit to some of the verbiage that, let me move my stuff here, that Steven Seagle kind of wrote down. So at first, they're kind of talking about just, thanking people and everything. But Steven Seagle kind of writes down sort of where this came from and what the kind of tone of it is. And so he says here, when I first read Samuel Beckett's play Endgame, and if you've not read any Samuel Beckett, by the way, you need to. You absolutely need to. Just he's kind of known as one of those preeminent postmodern playwrights that his stuff just hits you to the core. Anyway, very experimental. I was not in awe so he's talking about when I first read Samuel Beckett's play Endgame. I was not in awe. I had to read it for class, and it took me 15 minutes cover to cover. I decided that it was not much of a play due to lack of content. A few weeks later, I met actress Billie Whitelaw. Beckett has written plays specifically for Whitelaw, Not I, Rockabye, and others, and she suggested that I probably read Endgame too fast. She noted that silence and punctuation were as important as words in in-game. I went back and read it again and found she was right. It took on an entirely different meaning when I gave it an hour and a half. You could probably read Kafka cover to cover in 5 minutes, and I originally did, actually. You could, but I suggest that you don't. Rather than glancing at a panel and moving on, consider the panel. There's a lot of intentional silence in Kafka that conveys more than the words I could think of to fill it. So, I wish he would have put that guidance in the beginning, but that's fine. Let's dive into Kafka. So, a little note from Denise, or Denny as she's known. Kind of a fun little note from the publisher here. She just kind of goes on a rampage about over the next few months, you're going to be seeing a lot of changes here at Renegade. Up until now, it's been art for art sake until I'm absolutely sick of death of the word. I mean, whatever happened to good old American greenbacks? So a few things are going to start changing. I've signed on a sweet deal with this foreign film company to do a special series of X-rated comics based upon on the Manuel movies. Hey, little TNA can go a long way, so why not give them the whole enchilada? And then there's this sick little sports car I've had my eye on for a while. A little pricey, but my lawyer says I can legally cut myself in on a bit of action I can find for our titles. I figure I'll sell the rights to this South American book distributor and not bother to tell the artist. Should be able to get a widescreen TV and that kind of dough. Yeah, no more Mr. Nice Guy or Nice Gal for you feminists. I've tasted the good life and I want it all. I know that the distributors will be happy to hear that we'll be coming out with radioactive ninja robots this summer, just in time for the conventions. Blah, 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 blah. She's just being coy. By the way. Just having fun. She doesn't actually mean any of that. So, fun little note there. We start here in Kafka. It's just with an introductory page that just gives the day of the week, Sunday. With a quote, not much going on. Museum doesn't attract many people when the weather's bad. Not quite as tired as usual today. Guess I'm getting used to not sleeping well. Monday. So we get our first page here. Main character is sleeping, and we're getting some snippets of his dream time. Right off, the ink work was slaying me in a positive way. Just gorgeous. And it does not let up. Stefano has an incredible hand with the brush. Just liquidy almost. Like everything just feels like, and it's in constant movement. So we get more snippets. Main character sleeping. He's hooked up to some machines. Some pain. Still sleeping. We get a boy saying Papa in some other foreign language at a fence. Speaking to the other side of the fence. And then the character wakes up saying Papa, and we hear this bang bang or badang badang. Steven Seagle, Stefano Guadiano. He gets up. Time is 11:46 p.m. He looks at the image, which is obviously the girl that was in his dream, and goes back to bed. Badang badang again. He gets up, puts on some clothes, which I noticed he actually has a shirt on, and he takes his shirt off for this scene. So he had his shirt on, and then he takes it off. And then he puts it back on. That was a little weird there. But anyway, goes to the window. It's raining. There's a car. He goes downstairs. And it looks like this is at a museum of history in England. Two characters here. Mr. Whitelaw. So right away, the main character is named after the actress that he was talking about earlier, or actually later in the book. Yes, what can I do for you? The museum is closed. And then it's a badge for the Central Intelligence Agency. Perhaps we should call you Mr. Hutton. So his name is possibly Mr. Hutton. He gives a look. May we come in? Sure, lets them in. One of the fellow gentlemen from the CIA says, "May I?" As if to sit. Certainly. The other one's looking out the window. The one that's sitting down says, "We have a problem." What do you mean? You've been found. And then we get more silence. There's a security link. Ugh, there is a security leak at Langley. I don't know what you're talking about. We've shown you our credentials. This isn't a game, Mr. Hutton. Ink work is gorgeous. It's just the movement, the fluidity, the mood. And this is just impeccable. Someone gained access to the central computer. Who? We don't know, but whoever it was, they accessed your file. And that means they know who you are and where you are. No one's been here yet. Then you've been lucky so far. Well, we can take you back to Langley. Oh, yeah. So what am I supposed to do? Well, we can take you back to Langley and give you a new name. Set you up somewhere else? No. What? I said no, but we can what? You've already taken my name. You've taken my past. You took my wife. You're not taking anything else, but you're in danger. Who cares? If somebody wants me that much, they can have me. This life may not be mine, but it's all I've got now. Image of his wife again. Why don't you both leave? There is something else you must realize. What? If they know where you are, they know where your wife is. Rachel, if you don't cooperate, there's nothing we can do for her. Will you come with us? Yes. So he changes his name, changes his mind. Badang, badang. So kind of a weird sound effect for a door knock. So shh, just let them go away. So there's somebody else at the door. Badang, badang again. Badang, badang. So somebody else is trying to enter. Whoever it is, get rid of them. We'll be out back. Please hurry. Yes, I will. So they go out back. Coming. So there's two other gentlemen sitting out the front door. Yes. They hold their badges. Central Intelligence Agency. Mr. Hutton, we're with the agency. We need to speak with you. Please come in. Let's these gentlemen in. We don't mean to scare you, but we have reason to believe you've been found. You're in danger. You'll have to come with us. And when I was reading the book, it very rarely this happens when I read comics, but I actually had a little bit of a, like I would watching a movie or something. There was a little bit of my gut sinking, like, oh shit, this is awesome. So it's like, what the hell is he gonna do now? So, all right, when? We'll leave now. Don't worry, everything should be fine. I'm just glad we got here first. They may be in the country already. So he's got two sets of folks from the CIA. One of them's fake, trying to corral him and take him away. Both of them are trying to take him away, but which one's is the actual CIA, which one's the quote-unquote bad guys, or whoever they are. Mr. Hutton, where are you going? With you, I just need to get a few things. All right, but hurry, please. There isn't much time. So Hutton or Whitelaw, or whoever this guy is like, screw this. Whoever has that information is almost certainly on their way here. I'm just grabbing a coat, and he's going in. There's obviously a drawer of passports and credit cards. Fine. We can get you anything else you need, Mr. Hutton. Grabs the picture of his wife. Mr. Hutton climbs out the window. Mr. Hutton. So he's gone out into the rain on the roof. He slides down, jumps down. It's such a gorgeous scene, by the way. Go! And so there's obviously two sets of cars there, two sets of people wanting to chase after him. So we have a nice running scene. Love the rain. Some people say that you can definitely tell an artist by their rain, because every artist has kind of like their own way of doing it. I love the style here. It fits in so well with the rest of his ink work. Jumping a fence, going through an alley, comes up to a bed and breakfast, walks on in. Ba-ding. There's a lot of Badang, badang, bading. Yes, I need a room. Certainly. Your name? Name? And so when he's thinking about a name to use, we get a flashback of the scene of the fence, of the boy in the fence. And it looks like it's a concentration camp of some sort, or some sort of labor camp. So I imagine he's probably Jewish. Where's Papa? Shh, where's Papa? KAFKA. Some old lady comes up and says, KAFKA, KAFKA, KAFKA. All these people saying KAFKA, and he chooses that as his name. KAFKA. KAFKA? Robert KAFKA. He gets a key, goes up to his room, pulls out the photograph, and looks like he goes back to sleep. So, very, very interesting book. I believe there was 5 other issues. So definitely a book I would like to, a series I would try to like to finish. Next issue is Tuesday. So the quote here is, "I don't know what's going on here. Just when I'm starting to adjust, these guys show up. And which one is telling the truth? I don't know what to do, but I should be safe here until I decide. Guess I'll sleep on it." So pretty cool. Loved it. Loved the black and white. Loved the ink work. I can't say enough of it. And a great story. I mean, I love black and white comic books. You don't always get the best craft of story. I mean, you get fun, interesting stories, but this is very well crafted. And knowing who Steven Seagle is, absolutely, I have a lot of trust. So, and then this Electric Fear looks pretty cool in the 3D zone, a dazzling graphic journey through the subconscious. Wowza, yeah, that sounds like something I'd be interested in, so gonna have to find that one. And then we get a list of other books that are coming out from Renegade: French Ice, Love, Fantasy, Friends, these old ads are just so cool. I love them. I don't know who came up with the kind of grid background. I know Marvel Comics Presents did that for a while. Interesting choice. Just like whoever came up with that. There's Miss Tree. Miss Tree, I know, eventually went to First. I have a few First comics with her in it, so that's a book that I might take a look at later. And then here's the back. So obviously this is all told within the auspices of 6 days. So issue number 1 is Monday, and I'm sure issue 2 will have the same calendar with a countdown on it. But such a good book. Love the painted covers. Love the ink work in the inside. Definitely going to hunt the rest of these suckers down. And that's all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my shop. I've got comics, I've got merch, all kinds of stuff. And you all out there, please take it psycho.